Today we're taking a look at these NHL matches, which are happening on Wednesday, March 29, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Florida Panthers vs Toronto Maple Leafs. A season-high fourth consecutive defeat, 0-4-0, came about for the Florida Panthers, 36-31-7, who started their current four-game road trip with a 5-2 setback against the Ottawa Senators at Canadian Tire Centre on Monday. Gustav Forsling, 12 goals, 38 points this year, picked up 2 markers for the Cats, cutting it to 2-1 at the start of the second period and to 3-2 midway through the third, before the hosts buried 2 more snipes, including an empty netter, subsequently. Florida, which killed just one of its 4 penalties against the Sens, trails the Pittsburgh Penguins for the second wild card of the Eastern Conference by 3 points, having played an extra game. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 44-29, bagged their second victory in the last 3 matchups, 2-1-0, after rounding off their latest 5-date road trek with a 3-2-0 total, following a 3-2 victory against the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena on Sunday. John Tavares, 32 goals, 75 points this year, scored 2 power play snipes and nabbed an assist. Alexander Kerfoot, 30 points, collected his 9th marker of the season, while Auston Matthews, 36 goals, 77 points, picked up 2 helpers to extend his point streak to 6 outings, 5 goals, 5 assists. Having gone 4-2-1 in its last 7 fixtures, Toronto sits second in the Atlantic Division, 7 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have played an extra game. Both previous meetings between Toronto and Florida this season finished with a triumph for the Maple Leafs. And a similar outcome is definitely more than plausible in their upcoming contest on Wednesday. In fact, do go as far as to back Toronto on the puck line here. The Panthers are riding their worst skid of the current campaign, having dropped 4 decisions in a row, with 3 of them coming by more than 1 snipe. Out of the previous 10 defeats of the Cats, 7 have posted a goal gap of at least 2 tallies, while 11 of the most recent 17 victories of the Maple Leafs have all been by more than 1 marker, as have 5 of their past 6 wins against Florida. Our team pick is Toronto Maple Leafs minus 1.5 goals. These teams are full of talent and skill at every position, and while the goaltending can be impressive on their day, it's the offense that turns up in the biggest moments, especially against each other, as the over is 7-1-1 in the past 9 meetings, as well as being 5-0-1 in the past 6 head-to-head battles in Toronto. For the Panthers, the over is 5-1-1 in their past 7 games on the road, and for Toronto, the over is 5-1 in their past 6 overall games, so even with the over being set at 7, these 2 teams are as explosive as anyone offensively, so this game should feature plenty of scoring chances. Keep it simple, take the over. Islanders vs Washington Capitals. The Capitals won the first 2 games of the season series against the Islanders, but I see the Islanders stepping up and controlling this game. The Islanders should constantly find the back of the net against the Capitals, who allow 3.08 goals per game, with Brock Nelson, Anders Lee, and the rest of the forward unit carrying the puck into the offensive zone and creating open shots with quick puck movement. The Islanders, who allow only 2.68 goals per game, should limit the Capitals' offense with Ryan Pulock, Alexander Romanov, and the rest of the defensive unit, creating turnovers in the defensive zone and limiting shots on the net, allowing goaltender Ilya Sorokin to make plenty of big saves. The Islanders should win the game with a strong performance on the road. Take the Islanders' money line as road favorites. The offense has been playing well for the Islanders recently. They scored 4 or more goals in 6 of the last 9 games. New York ranks 21st in goals per game and 19th in shots per game. Brock Nelson leads the team with 68 points. Matthew Barzal has 51 points and Anders Lee has 49 points. Barzal is dealing with a lower body injury and has no timetable to return. The offense has been performing well for the Capitals recently. They scored 5 or more goals in 4 of the last 8 games. Washington ranks 18th in goals per game and 17th in shots per game. Alex Ovechkin leads the team with 72 points, and he leads the Caps with 42 goals. Dylan Strome has 57 points, and Evgeny Kuznetsov has 53 points. The defense and goaltending have both been good for the Caps. They rank 14th in goals against per game and 11th in shots against per game. Darcy Kuemper has a record of 21-23-5 with a 2.76 GAA and a .911 SV%. Charlie Lindgren has a record of 13-9-3 with a 3.02 GAA and .898 SV%. Washington is 6th in the Metropolitan Division, and they are currently on the outside looking into a wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. The Islanders and Penguins currently hold the 2 wild card spots. The Capitals are 6 points shy of a wild card spot. It is not looking likely Washington makes the postseason. Both teams have been good at keeping the puck out of the net. The defense and goaltending have both been good for the Caps. They rank 14th in goals against per game and 11th in shots against per game. Goaltending has been very good for the Islanders this season. New York ranks 4th in goals against per game. Ilya Sorokin has a record of 27-19-7 with a 2.39 GAA and .924 SV%. Sorokin ranks 4th in GAA, 3rd in SV%, and tied for 1st in shutouts among all goalies in the league. This will be a lower scoring game, and the under will hit. Take the under, 6 goals. Minnesota Wild vs Colorado Avalanche. Minnesota struggled quite a bit offensively this season, but they have improved a ton recently. They've averaged 2.93 goals per game, the 10th fewest in the NHL, on an average of 31.1 shots per game. They've generated the 12th fewest expected goals per 60 minutes, 3.09, and the 12th fewest high danger shots in the league. The Wild have scored on 21.9% of their power play opportunities. They are still without their leading scorer in Kirill Kaprizov, 74 points, 39 goals, who's out with an injury. Matt Zuccarello leads them with 43 assists. For their struggles offensively, the Wild have more than made up for it defensively as one of the best teams in the league on the back end. They've allowed just the 3rd fewest goals in the NHL, an average of only 2.62 per game on an average of 30.7 shots allowed per game. They've given up the 10th fewest expected goals per 60 minutes, 2.94, and the 7th fewest high danger shots. Minnesota has killed off 80.6% of their penalties. They're projected to start Marc-Andre Fleury in goal tonight. This season Flower has a 24-13-4 record, a 2.81 GAA, a .909 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Colorado has improved immensely on the offensive end of the ice recently. On the season they've scored an average of 3.27 goals per game, the 14th most in the NHL, on an average of 33.2 shots per game. They've generated the 14th fewest expected goals per 60 minutes, 3.13, and the 11th fewest high danger shots in the league. The Avs power play has been very good, ranking 4th in the NHL, scoring on 25.7% of their chances. They're led in scoring by Nathan MacKinnon, 95 points, 63 assists, and Mikko Rantanen, 48 goals. The Avalanche have been very good defensively all season. They've allowed just the 6th fewest goals in the NHL, an average of 2.71 goals per game, on an average of 31.3 shots allowed per game. They've given up the 13th fewest expected goals per 60 minutes, 2.97, and the 14th fewest high danger shots. The Avs have killed off 79.5% of their penalties. They're projected to start Alexander Georgiev in goal tonight. He's been very good this season with a 34-15-5 record, a 2.54 GAA, a .919 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. I expect this game to have a playoff-style intensity, which is conducive to the under. Both of these teams have trended under this season significantly, with the under going 42-28-3 in Avs games and 39-35 in Wild games this year. These are 2 fantastic defensive teams. The Wild have allowed just the 3rd fewest goals in the NHL, having given up the 10th fewest expected goals and the 7th fewest high danger shots. They're backstopped by a future Hall of Fame and goal Marc-Andre Fleury. The Avalanche have allowed just the 6th fewest goals in the NHL, having given up the 13th fewest expected goals and the 14th fewest high danger shots. Neither offense has been great. The Wild have scored just the 10th fewest goals in the league and have generated the 12th fewest expected goals and the 12th fewest high danger shots in the NHL. The Avs are just marginally better, ranking 14th in scoring in the NHL, generating the 14th fewest expected goals and the 11th fewest high-danger shots in the league. I expect these teams to grind it out in a low-scoring and intense game. Take the under 6 goals for an incredible defensive battle.